Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of We Evolve.
Today we're going to talk about sleep, all the ins and outs of sleep, and how it affects our mental health.
Yeah, so let's get started. So what is sleep? I feel like no one really knows what sleep is, but no, I feel like a lot of people do it here. Obviously, like obviously,
a lot of people do it.
Everyone gets their sleep. Everyone gets their 7 to 10 hours of sleep. I personally try to sleep for 10 hours. What about you? I feel like she doesn't sleep at all.
No, I sleep. I think I sleep like 8 to 9
She gets up a lot. But sleep is a very, very important thing for your well-being. It's extremely vital, and especially for children and teens. Sleep is what supports your growth and development. So clearly I didn't get a lot of sleep growing up because I'm really short. But despite how simple sleep might mean, like I feel like everyone just thinks like, okay, you're sleeping, you're going to bed, like who cares? It's actually the most complex system of your body, and it has so many unanswered questions to it. And there's a whole field of medicine actually dedicated to sleep and its mental health, its conditions, and around it, and what happens if something's disrupted. So sleep is extremely important.
Yeah. So I'm sure a lot of you guys have heard of REM sleep before, even if you don't know what it is. I'm sure a lot of you have heard of it, heard of the name. But REM sleep, like REM stands for rapid eye movement, and you have two phases of sleep, I guess. You have REM sleep and non-REM sleep. So I'm just going to kind of go through the stages of the sleep cycle. So when you fall asleep, you first enter non-REM sleep stage 1, and then you cycle between stages 2 and 3. Then you just go into REM sleep, which we'll dive deeper into that. But when you go into REM sleep, this is when you have your vivid dreams, and this is when you don't know you're dreaming necessarily. And dreams, this is when you have those dreams. And then after that, you start a new sleep cycle and start again from non-REM sleep, stage 1. And then this just keeps going throughout your 7 to, like Shwani said, 10 hours.
You keep dreaming.
Yeah,
actually,
and they just keep going.
The REM portion of your sleep is actually the shortest portion.
Yeah.
Portion.
Yeah, so the entire cycle, like stage 1 all the way, non-REM stage 1, all the way to REM sleep and the cycle starting over is about 90 to 110 minutes, but can vary based on a variety of factors like gender, age, sex, the same thing. But most people tend to go through 4 to 5 cycles per night if you're using 8 hours as like the frame. So stage 1, non-REM sleep. This is your light sleep. This happens right after you fall asleep, and it only lasts about a few minutes. And then you enter stage 2, non-REM sleep, which is still light, but it's deeper than stage 1. Your brainwaves essentially slow down, and they have noticeable pauses between bursts of electrical activity. And this, like non-REM sleep, stage 2, accounts for 45% of your entire sleep time. After this, you move into stage 3, which is a little bit deeper. Then after stage 3, you go into REM sleep.
So I'm going to talk about stage 3, non-REM sleep. So this is still part of the non-REM sleep category, but it's your deepest non-REM sleep. 25% of your sleep, especially babies and children, they spend the most time, but the older you get, the less you need that stage 3 sleep. And the brainwaves are slow but extremely strong, and your body takes advantage of this, and it will start to repair any injuries you have, reinforce your immune systems, and then your body goes back to stage 2 non-REM before entering REM, which is so confusing. Like, why does it do N1, N2, N3?
So what I read actually is that stage 2 is like the gatekeepers to REM.
Oh, seriously?
Yeah, so
okay.
like even if you go to stage 3, you have to go back to stage 2 in order to enter REM.
Yeah. Interesting. But stage 2 is so deep that if someone were to wake you up, you would probably be super confused when you get up, and it's like very similar to having like a mental fog. But yeah, it's pretty cool. But now we're gonna get to the best part, REM, the rapid eye moment, which I used to think was called random eye moments. Cause like, you know when you look at like,
I mean that makes sense.
If you've ever looked at an experiment on sleep, like the person's eyes are like going crazy. So it's like, I used to think that it was like random eye movements, but no, they're rapid eye movements. But most of your dreams happen in this stage, and the brain activity actually looks very similar to when you're awake, and it makes up 25% of your sleep. And the first REM cycle of the sleep period is typically the shortest, and each one after is just going longer and going up to an hour. So
Yeah. And then we're gonna kind of go into the 6 main sleep disorders and just kind of give you a very simple overview of each of the disorders. So the first one is central disorders of, I'm gonna mess this up. Central disorders of hypersomnolence. I think that's how you say it. So an example of this would be like narcolepsy. In simple terms, it's basically a condition where you cannot properly control sleep-wake cycles, and it's causing you to have excessive sleepiness during the day because obviously you're not able to have that efficient sleep during the night. Another sleep disorder would be circadian rhythm sleep-wake disorder. This
jet lag.
Yeah, they all have like such fancy names, and then it's
Yeah.
like when I say an example, it makes sense. But these are things like jet lag, or if you do night shift work and you have I don't even know if you would say different circadian rhythm, but you have a disrupted circadian rhythm because you're now sleepier during the day.
Jet lag just a couple of days ago.
Yeah. We went on a mental health break.
We went on a mental health break, and oh my god, it was so bad when we came back. Like, at least for me, like, I was like sleeping, and I tried to break it, but I was just so exhausted.
Yeah, but I'm glad I'm waking up early.
Yes, it kind of worked out.
And then insomnia is a really popular one. In simple terms, it is just the constant inability to fall asleep. And this is not like one day you had an energy drink and you couldn't sleep. Like, it's like you are constantly not sleeping well, which we're going to go into the problems that you have if you don't sleep well. You're constantly not sleeping well because you cannot fall asleep.
You just simply cannot fall asleep, so... Yeah, and then leading on, we have parasomnia, which it's in simple terms, it's like physical abilities during sleep, like sleep talking, sleep walking. Yeah, they're very scary. Personally, for me, my cousin she sleep talks. And
really?
Yeah, she sleep talks, and it's just like she'll say weird stuff, and it like freaks me out, but...
My brother used to sleepwalk, but like he wouldn't sleepwalk.
Oh my god.
He wouldn't. That's how you got it.
No.
Bro, he wouldn't sleepwalk in his like bedroom. Like if we're ever watching TV and he falls asleep, that's when he would do it. Like
Are you serious?
Yeah. And then one time it was like a Saturday. He like wakes up. It's 11 p.m. He wakes up. We're sleeping on the couch, and we're all awake. He just fell asleep. He wakes up and goes to the front door and he's like, "I need to go to school." I need to catch the bus. That's what he says.
Yeah.
And we're like,
how did you wake him up from that? Because you have to wake them up. And
he was like, I don't know, he didn't open the door, he just went to the bathroom. And then he woke up
What? Wait, if you go on TikTok and look at those clothes, they're funny.
Yeah, they're really funny.
Wait, yeah, because my cousin would just say weird stuff, like scary stuff, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna go. So, yeah, no, that's really funny. Now we have sleep disordered breathing, like sleep apnea. And honestly, when I talk about this, I'll say something after. But in simple terms, it's like breathing issues when you're sleeping, and it's just disrupting your sleep and essentially causing you a wide variety of issues. But it also makes you feel very fatigued and tired even if you've slept for the 8 hours, because your body isn't able to go through the cycles of sleep properly. You're gonna have a lot of micro unconscious awakenings, which will sometimes, but not always, cause your body to start the sleep cycle over, and it's not good. But sleep apnea, actually, like if you have a snoring problem, sometimes it's related to sleep apnea.
Yeah.
And a lot of people will go get it checked because they're like, why am I snoring so much? They have a sleep apnea problem. Yeah, and it's like they're not even getting proper oxygen to their brain, and because of that, they get a device. It's called the CPAP device.
Yeah. And not everybody that snores has sleep apnea, but I would still say if you can get it checked.
Yeah, if you're feeling...
You'd be surprised how many people have sleep
literally,
apnea.
You're getting your 8 hours of sleep and you're getting up and you're like feeling extremely tired and you're having to go and take micro naps and like go and get your sleep. It's just because you're sleeping, but you're not sleeping properly.
Yeah. And we know somebody that has sleep apnea, and you can tell that this person, even though they slept for a long period of time, they're still
tired,
sleepy, tired. They can sleep at any time during the day.
Yeah, exactly. You sleep at any time of the day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
then we have our last one, sleep-related movement disorders, which is like restless leg syndrome.
So how common are sleep disorders? So a statistic from 2020 from the CDC says that about 14.5% of adults have trouble falling asleep most days or every day in the past 30 days. So we also took into account, like the sleep statistic shows that sleeping disorders are more common now because of the prevalence of technology and stuff, which we'll go into further. So also, the percentage of adults who had trouble falling asleep actually increased as family income decreased and the place of residence became more rural. So that's a surprising statistic that I found, again, through the CDC, and it's kind of interesting. So people that are in more rural areas or don't have as much of an income or like struggle financially tend to show.
I mean, it makes
that
sense
they have
though,
trouble
because
sleeping.
they're stressed all
They're
the time,
stressed,
right?
yeah.
So.
And then about 50 to 70 million Americans have sleep
That's
disorders,
crazy.
and 1 in 3 adults do not get the recommended amount of uninterrupted sleep
Wow.
they need. So that means it's not just like when I'm saying 1 in 3 adults don't get the recommended sleep, that doesn't mean that 1 in 3 adults have sleep disorders. It's just that you're just not sleeping for the recommended.
Which I feel like in our society and like life right now, it's just hard to get that proper amount of sleep because, for example, we're college students. We're not gonna get our 8 hours of sleep every day.
Yeah.
It's just difficult because you have an exam the next day, and it's just like sad that even in our own environment, society, they're not accommodating sleep and
I
they're
agree.
not prioritizing it.
Yeah.
You know, for example, we went to you'll see some videos hopefully, but we went to Europe and I noticed such a change between Europe and the US.
Well, I was literally just going to say that.
I was like, you're in Europe. Now I'm like blazing Europe, but in Europe, they highly prioritize relationships, social life, your mental health, your well-being way more, and they actually accommodate it by closing workplaces early. A lot of people stop working in Europe around 3 o'clock, at least for Spain. They have things called siestas, which is like afternoon naps you take. Within like kitchens and like a lot of restaurants, they close in the evening, so they take their siesta and go chill, and then reopen at 8. And it's like I don't see that stuff here in the US. Obviously, this is not to shit on the US at all, but I just looking at the different like economies and like how like things are in different places, like they do prioritize. I feel like relationships and social life and like.
I think part of the thing is like here in America, we're definitely more, I guess, like modern individualism. Like we're more fast paced, I would say, which is why like, I mean like
you live in time. You
yeah,
literally
exactly.
live.
Like, people here are like very like next thing, and then hence they're always stressed. Hence they can't sleep. They don't prioritize sleep because, I mean. It's like if I'm friends with somebody, you don't prioritize sleep, you're always working. I'm like, well, I'm lacking now, so I should also
that's
stop
how you
sleeping.
feel. That's how you feel. I just feel like, oh my god, like if, for example, like I'm coming up to my room in my apartment and my roommates are up and working, I'm like, I should not be sleeping right now. I should be working too.
Even though, like, you need to sleep.
Even though I need to sleep. And I just feel like it's a bad environment that we're growing up in, and it's like discouraging sleep because of academics or extracurriculars or you're wanting to no like sleep is not that important. You have to go do this.
It's more like since we were little we were always told sleep is important, but we never get a chance to actually prioritize this important sleep.
Okay. Okay, yeah, so why do we struggle with sleep so much? We went on a tangent, but the NIH research study done in Saudi Arabia actually found that regular use of electronic devices was almost always associated with reduced, generally bad or very bad sleep quality. And that study actually showed that the number of devices didn't really matter or necessarily have a negative correlation with sleep quality, but more so that the consistent use of any electronic devices, regardless of like the number, had a negative correlation with the sleep quality. So.
Yeah. Also, I just want to put this out there. It's not related to any of this, but we have listed all of our sources on our both descriptions of Spotify and YouTube. And if you just scroll down, all of them are there for our entire script, essentially. And if you guys want to check them out, you guys want to DM us about them, whatever it is, yeah, you can.
Yeah,
there
because
for you guys to see them.
Yes, we're getting all our information from these case studies, and what we do is like. Typically, our reels are clipped from that. So if you're ever interested or confused about something that we said, like, please go to the description and see. Like, we have all that sources.
Yep.
On there.
But anyways, a surprising study also showed that the use of blue light glasses 2 hours before bed significantly decreased sleep latency. And sleep latency is essentially the time that you need to fall asleep. But when compared to people who viewed electronic devices without blue light glasses. So what that means is people that had been using blue light glasses, considering that you guys are, like if me and Shivani are using our technology similarly, at the same time, like every other aspect is the same, but I'm using blue light glasses and she's not, then I'm able to technically fall asleep earlier or faster than she is.
I put it on my phone, you know, the brightness
night
mode, night mode, I turns on at 9 p.m. for me. But yeah, I mean, she's right. Like, I do see a benefit in blue light glasses.
Yeah.
I need to get my own pair, but
I actually use blue light glasses. I don't know if this is true, but I heard that they're just good for your eyes. Okay. So I don't know if
I heard they were
true.
Good for your eyes because they don't strain your eyes in like the darkness.
So I just usually use it when I know I'm spending a lot of time in front of
Especially if you're on your phone in the dark, your eyes are already getting strained to like look at the lighting and adjust, and there's a lot more technical stuff with the eye, but the blue light the blue light glasses help limit it.
Exactly, yeah. But this study is specifically only measuring blue light glasses and sleep latency, but in general, if blue light glasses are not going to be the only factor in like the use of technology and sleep latency, it does matter about like the content you're watching, how much stimulation you're getting, the timing of when you're actually using those devices, but this coupled with blue light glasses also matters. So it's not just like, oh, well, I'm going to just scroll anyway before bed, just use my blue light glasses and I'll still be able to fall asleep. That's not what I mean. I just mean that if two people are using the devices at the same time, then at least use blue light glasses.
Yeah.
But preferably don't be on your phone until before your bed.
Yeah, I heard that works.
It worked. When I was doing my DAT setting, I used to put my phone away 30 minutes before bed and I would read for 30 minutes and I would sleep, and oh my god, I did not have brain fog. I woke up earlier, I was more motivated, like it was.
Maybe I should start.
Good. Yeah, you should. But smartphone and computer use are the most harmful for sleep latency, and using night mode is actually not enough, and the use of devices altogether should be limited before bed, especially in the hour before bed, to have efficient sleep cycles and reduce sleep latency and reduce excessive daytime sleepiness.
Okay, so just ignore what I said then about the night mode. I was like, I put night mode on my phone.
Well, I mean, it's better than not having it at all,
I guess. Okay, so how does like lack of sleep and quality and everything lead to weight gain, hormone imbalance, mental health, and addiction? We're going to talk about that right now. So non-REM sleep's BP, so that's blood pressure and heart rate, fall, and your body is typically in a parasympathetic system mode, which parasympathetic means rest and digest, whereas sympathetic means fight or flight. Exactly, yeah. And the heart's not working as hard, but when in REM sleep, and your body is typically, like we said before, REM sleep is very identical to being awake. Your body's actually in a sympathetic state, which I did not know that.
Yeah.
And it increases your heart rate and blood pressure. And people who do not sleep enough or wake up often during the night reduce the time that their body is spent in non-REM sleep, and therefore have a higher risk of coronary heart disease, high blood pressure, obesity, and stroke. So it's like, these both of these nervous systems, like they work together, parasympathetic and sympathetic, and I did not know that they work together during the sleep cycle specifically. But if you're not getting your sleep properly, you're not regulating those systems properly, and it's just...
Essentially, it's like if your body is just always in a flight or fight response, you're going to see some kind of
You're always going to have high blood pressure, high heart rate, and it's like...
Exactly.
Your body's never resting.
And also, this is not like, it's not like, oh, if I don't sleep one day, I'm going to get coronary heart disease. That's not what we're saying. It's more like a constant, you're not sleeping. Yeah, of course, I see this statistic all the time. Again, I don't know if this is true, but 1 day of sleep like increases your chance of getting Alzheimer's. But
oh yes, I know that.
I don't think every single person on this planet is sleeping 7 to 9 hours every single day.
Sleep is super important, especially with the memory though. Like they're probably right about that statistic, because like I know people that don't even sleep. Like they don't sleep.
Yeah.
And like they only sleep, or like your sleep like routine is so bad that you're only sleeping at 6 a.m. every night. I feel like that was us for a while.
It just disrupts your circadian rhythm. Obviously, you kind of have to change with the times and like prioritize other things in your life, not just sleep. But you should prioritize sleep too. It is really important. But again, the problems or disorders we're talking about are a significant lack of sleep. Like if you're consistently not sleeping.
Yes, please know that. Like a lot of our things, when we get clipped, it's very like, we're saying very extreme stuff, but when you watch the entire video, we're talking I just went like the extreme.
Yeah,
To the max.
But not having enough or high quality sleep can also disrupt your circadian rhythm, like we just talked about, and lead to irregular hormone cycles. So, an example would be not getting enough sleep is shown to lead to higher levels of hormones that actually control your hunger, being released into your body and then leading to an increased food consumption, which in the grand scheme of things can contribute to
yes,
obesity.
please, yeah, grand scheme of things. I'm not saying that if you don't get sleep and you're going to go eat popcorn at night, you're going to get obese.
Yeah, but if you guys, I feel like this is really common today, in today's society. If you don't sleep, most of us are snacking. You know what I mean? Like, if we do that a lot. I remember one day we were studying and it was literally 12 a.m. We went to Papa John's, got a pizza, and ate the entire pizza.
Oh my god, we each got our own.
Yeah, do you remember that?
Yes, we were literally, it was final time. We were so hungry, and it was like, what time? Like 2
It was like 12.
Yeah, 12, 1 a.m. We drove to Papa John's, ordered our own pizzas, and we came back and we snacked that.
We ate that.
Anyway, that's what we do.
So,
don't do that.
Yeah, don't do that if you don't have to. But why does sleep deprivation increase cravings? So an NIH article on the impact of sleep deprivation on food desire in the human brain shows a study that used functional MRI scans and determined that sleep deprivation actually decreased activity in the frontal cortex region, which is responsible for higher order thinking, and evaluating food choices is one of the things that your frontal cortex participates in. And it increased activity in the amygdala, which is kind of like the emotional hub. So basically, your body, or like your mind is driving you to eat these foods or whatever from like an emotional standpoint.
You're like making decisions, essentially.
You're making decisions that maybe aren't super
super
smart because you're not using like that part of your brain.
Yeah. And if the amygdala got overactive, that means the food choices were driven by impulse and craving rather than like thinking and nutritional value. And these changes were then linked to significantly increase the desire for high-calorie foods in sleep-deprived people, and also offers an explanation to why poor sleep leads to obesity.
Yeah. I feel like this makes you connect why most people who have a great physique and have healthy eating habits usually also have healthy sleeping habits too.
Oh wow, you're right.
Yeah. And it's crazy to see the impact of sleep on every single thing in your that your body does, and the way that your brain operates differently when you are sleep deprived.
Oh my god, because you don't know a person that's really healthy and like very like knowledgeable about their food and like take what they eat, what they like need to eat, whatever, and not sleep well.
Yeah, like you very rarely do see people like that, because it's like, it's not just about, oh, I like to eat at that point, because it's genuinely like your brain is not able to function in the way it would if
for me at least, like when I don't get enough sleep, I get really grouchy the next day. And like I feel like my whole day's ruined because I don't have good sleep.
Yeah.
And it's like, I don't know.
It's like for me, even if I slept 7 to 9 hours, but I slept at 3 a.m.
It's not good.
Instead of sleeping at 10 p.m. or 11 p.m., it's still not good. Those 9 hours, even if I got 9 hours of sleep, it's not quality sleep.
It's not.
And that's kind of what I'm talking about, the circadian rhythm thing.
Yeah. I was really used to that sleep routine for a while.
Yeah. I can't sleep like on a night that we go out or something.
It's over.
It's over. It doesn't matter if I sleep. Like,
yeah.
It's over.
Actually, I feel I can get
myself to get up and do my stuff.
No, like I can sleep till 12 or 1 and still feel fine. Oh, I feel so lazy the next day.
Yeah, that's my thing. It's like, for me, it's like if I sleep super late, like at 2 or 3,
oh god,
I can sleep till 9, but if I wake up past 12, I just don't want to do anything for the rest of the day.
I feel lazy. Okay, so now we can talk about sleep and the immune system. But sleep actively supports the adaptive immune response. And this is a response that deploys over time and remembers strands and infections you've had and then acts accordingly. It's kind of like, oh, I got like a cold, and that's when adaptive immune system comes and like attacks, and like that's when they come. They play their part. And it's a little different than the innate immune system, which is more of a generalized immune system. Innate immune system is always in your body. It's like there, it's chilling. Whereas adaptive is the one that comes in when there's like an infection that needs to fight. But in insomniacs, they actually have reduced T helper cells, T cytotoxic cells, and natural killer cell activity.
Yeah, and to just expand a little bit on adaptive versus innate, an example would be like if you got a viral infection, but you already got the exact same strand of that viral infection before.
Yeah.
Your body, the adaptive immune system, is able to remember that old strand and how it fought.
Well, that is how vaccines work.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. That's how vaccines work. They basically help. The vaccines are like dead. The viruses aren't even alive, but like
your
you know what I mean.
Body is fighting against a form,
Yeah.
And then when you get that condition again, like hypothetically, like I went and got my COVID vaccine. When I go and actually get COVID,
if you get that exact strand that she got vaccinated for,
my immune system will be up and ready and will. That's actually how I felt when I got COVID. I was dead for the first day. Oh my god, I could not move. Yeah. And then the next day it was fine.
And that's why sometimes when you get like a viral infection vaccine, you also feel sick.
Yes. Your body is fighting against it. The flu, for example, flu vaccine, same thing. I get sick after a flu vaccine, and then when I get the flu again, I'll get cooked for the first day, and then I'll be fine for the rest.
Yeah, but that being said, if you guys don't know how viral infections work, you can still get like viruses. What do you call them? Like adapt. They become resistant. So if I got a COVID shot, that doesn't mean I can never get COVID again. I can still get a different strain of COVID.
And there's so many different strains right now.
Yeah, they change all the time.
Yeah, the viruses are also at the same time accommodating and adapting to their environment and becoming stronger and less more resistant to antibiotics.
Yeah. So, like Shawani mentioned, we mentioned that insomniacs have the reduced natural killer cell activity. So, natural killer cells sounds intense, but like natural killer cells are a type of white blood cells that are part of the innate immune response. And innate immune response responds first, then adaptive response.
Wow.
Adaptive immune responds after the innate immune response. Whoa. What did I just say?
I don't know. I just heard response.
I hope nobody clips me right now. But essentially, natural killer cells will poke a bunch of holes in diseased cells or cancer cells, which after they get a bunch of holes poked in, they get destroyed. And then natural killer cells can also activate other immune cells, and it's kind of like a frontline defense. They're kind of like the soldiers before the actual people come in. But bad sleep, in simple terms, decreases normal immune function. This includes both innate and adaptive immunity and makes it harder to fight off pathogens. So essentially, if you had really good quality sleep consistently, it will make your overall immune system more efficient. So, like, that being said, like a simple example would be like if you're constantly not having good sleep, you could possibly be more like a good host for infection or viral.
Which again, remember we said bad sleep is associated with so many factors: obesity, reduced immune system, bad mental health. This is just another thing to be added.
Exactly.
But yeah. Deep sleep also has an inhibitory effect of the hypothalamus pituitary adrenal axis, which if you watch our episode on female endocrinology, like we talk a lot about the HPA, but and it keeps that stress hormones in check, and sleep deprivation can actually lead to an increased cortisol secretion in your body, and cortisol is typically known as the stress hormone. And also sleep deprivation can cause your body to remain in a low-grade inflammation state, which is not good. And moving on to sleep and mental health, like Deeksha mentioned, the prefrontal cortex becomes less active, and the prefrontal cortex is very in charge of making making decisions, and that's why a lot of people say like alcohol can affect your prefrontal cortex, and so many drugs if you watch your drug episode as well. But it leads to less rational decision-making skills, and amygdala becomes overactive, which reacting to things on an emotional basis, and essentially your brain is emotionally reactive but rationally impaired at this stage. So you feel everything more intensely, but you have less ability to process it, which is like, it's like one is going up, one is going down. So
exactly. And when you're obviously having a lack of sleep, or if you're sleeping 7 to 9 hours, but the quality of your sleep is not good, your anxiety does spike more easily, and you essentially feel negative emotions stronger than you would if you weren't sleep deprived. Because again, like Shani mentioned, your amygdala is hyperactive and then your prefrontal cortex is not as active. So if somebody says something to you like negatively, you may react, again, different person to person, you may react, or you may feel that it's more negative than it actually is because you're feeling more emotional than actually having higher order thinking.
For example, if you are getting ready for a family vacation and it's really, really early in the morning and everyone's just yelling at each other and getting aggravated, I feel like that's like plays a part in this. I like when we went on vacation, like trying to figure out this train system and plane and Ubering, it's
like
just
some people are
it's frustrating and we're like tired, and this is like an example of that.
Exactly. And studies also show that sleep-deprived people see neutral images as significantly more negative or threatening. And again, this is not like just because you're sleep-deprived you see this. It does depend on like who you are as a person. Like, are you more of a naturally more positive person? Because you can still be emotional but be more positive. Does that make sense? Like, it does depend on a variety of factors, but this is kind of in general. If you show a sleep-deprived person a neutral image, they see it as negative because their amygdala is hyperactive and they're seeing things from an emotional thought rather than a actual like higher order thinking. But at the end of the day, sleep is not just physical rest for your muscles and your organs, but there are also so many things happening in your body that you probably don't even know. Like, you're probably not feeling your immune system working, right? But it is working. And sleep is still something that scientists are still trying to understand. We know very, very little about what actually happens when you sleep. And based on everything you heard in today's episode, I hope you realize how important sleep is. And it actually supports your mental health, immune system, nervous system, and so much more. So we personally think it's important to sleep.
Let's sleep. I'm going to go sleep after this.
She's always sleeping.
I love to sleep.
You don't have to do that if you don't want to, but I would still recommend sleeping 7 to 9 hours in the night.
If
you can, yes. Again, I understand some people do night shifts, some people can't do the nighttime sleep, but try to get sleep and try to get
If you're off on the weekends, get that sleep.
And if you can't sleep, please get it checked, because sometimes it could be something very small as, oh, you're eating too close to when you're sleeping or you're being on your phone, but sometimes it can be something else that's making you not sleep. So if you're not able to sleep for a very long period of time and you're trying everything you can, I would still say get it checked, because you never know what you could find.
Yeah, that's a good way to end it. So
but we'll see you.
Yeah, thank you guys so much for listening, and we'll see you guys next week.